Hey, what's up you beautiful feckers, how you all doing? So this is my pocket BFG, my 10-0 amp, me operator weapon that fires a void pulse similar to that of the Arca Plasmor, and one that will help, hopefully, you burst down the shield of an Eidolon a lot quicker than the default amp that you start off with, but it will also burst down the little Vonvelists, which are the small drones, with a greater ease due to the width of the actual pulse shot that you fire. Its all fire on my current amp is also an explosive round that can deal self damage and wipe my operator out in about 2 to 3 shots. Now, where do you get amps in Warframe, or where do you go to craft them or change them to get all of the different variants that you need? So to unlock the Quills Syndicate, which is where you get these amps, you first need to complete the War Within quest and of course Gara's quest as well. Then you need to travel up the path behind where you get the bounties in Cetus, use transference at the door to pop into your operator mode, and then boom, you can interact with Onko and gain rep by killing Vonvelists and Eidolons during the night cycle while out on the plains of Eidolon, and then hand in all of those small parts to eventually get the items you need to craft. Now with this rep you can purchase amp components and of course armor for your operators as well, but the armor is just visual. And once you purchase all of these different components to make a new amp in order to kill more Eidolons and get more rep, then you're going to need to, I guess, build another amp and kill more Eidolons and get more rep. It's basically a never-ending cycle of grinding for the Quills rep, honestly it is. And unless you've got a really good squad with you or a really good way of getting a lot of rep, you may not hit your daily amount unless you put a lot of time into the game, which is something honestly I'm not quite happy with or don't really agree with. Now, once you build an amp in Warframe, you can't interchange its parts or swap in different pieces to change whatever way it functions. Once it's built, that's it. To change the way it functions, you're going to need to craft a completely new amp, which means more reputation to buy more parts. And at the end of this video I will tell you what is pretty much seen by the community right now as the best amp combination for you to run with if you want to get the best out of your weapon. So my amp in this footage is made up by using the components the Schwack Prism, the Schwack Scaffold and the Claptrap Brace, which, as you've already heard, is a fucking mouthful for me to say with this accent. Now the Shwack can hit multiple body parts and Vonvelists with one shot due to the width of that pulse beam. My amp has of course got more ammo because of the Claptrap Brace, which is kind of needed due to each shot of this amp needing 10 energy for a shot. And my secondary fire mode is an explosive round that deals a lot of void damage, but it can also, like I said earlier, kill my operator pretty fucking easily. Now currently an amp needs 3 parts like this to be crafted. It needs a prism, which is the primary fire of your amp. It needs a scaffold, which gives you an alternate fire mode, and then you need the brace in order to tweak your ammo economy, your crit chance, or your recharge rate, which is what we currently have with the selection of braces we have right now in game. And currently there are 3 different variants of Prism, Scaffold and Brace, with some of them locked behind a higher standing or you needing to be a different reputation ranking with of course the Quills. So the current prisms in game are the Raplak Prism, which you can get at the lowest rank of Moat, the Schwack Prism and of course the Grand Mu Prism, which you can get at Adherent. Now the Raplak is basically, it functions the same way as the Arca Cisco in game and fires kind of semi-auto void beams, and it performs pretty bloody well. But the Schwack Prism, which is the one like I said I'm using in this footage, is basically the Arca Plasmor for your operator. It's a pocket BFG. Right now this is seen as the best primary prism for you to run with. Now the final prism is called the Grand Mu Prism, which is the grenade launch or fire mode that can deal self damage as well. This one I am currently building, so expect a video for that in the future. I will let you know how it performs. Out of the 3 scaffolds that you can get, we have the Pencha, which makes your alternate fire very similar to the Opticore in game, and right now is seen as the best scaffold due to its high damage amount and of course that punch through as well. Now the Schwack Scaffold is what I'm using in this footage, and it fires an explosive round that can also deal self damage. It is a bit weird to be honest, and I really wish that I had built the Pencha instead of this one, but I have to run with what I have now or else I have to build a new fucking amp. And the final scaffold, which is called the Klebrick, which I'm also building right now, also fires a beam that latches onto enemies similar to, I guess, Mercy's healing rays in Overwatch. I believe that's the way it functions, but I won't know until I actually build it. Now the braces, like I said, will tweak or change the way that your amp's energy will regen, or how much you can have of that energy to fire, or of course your crit chance either. So the Clapcrap brace, which I have equipped on this amp, gives me a lot more ammo. The Jutney is for faster energy regen or ammo regen and is probably the best brace in the game right now. The final brace is called the Lohrin, which will increase your amp's critical chance by, wait for it, 2%. A whole 2%. Now, that's pretty bad. Unless maybe it's bugged and it's supposed to be 12% or 20% or 25% and it's mistakenly saying 2%, but that doesn't really look like a brace that's going to be worth it. So out of those 9 items, the 3 braces, the 3 prisms and of course the 3 scaffolds, you're going to be able to build 27 different variants of amps for us to try out, which is, like I said earlier, a lot of grinding, a lot of reputation, a lot of Eidolon kills in order to test all of those different variants out. So right now, the best one that we're seeing is the ones that I've kind of mentioned, and once you hit the rank of adherent with the Quills, you can then ask the vendor to guild your amp, which will increase its crit chance by 10%, the crit multiplier by 0.5%, and the status chance on your amp by 10% as well. So it's going to ramp up the damage that you can put out with that amp. Now you will also earn mastery rank once you guild an amp, but this mastery rank is locked to the prism. So once you've used up all 3 prisms and you've got mastery rank for them, then you're not going to be able to get any more mastery rank for amps unless they add new prisms into the game. Now, running with the Schwack Prism, which these names for me, come on. I mean, give me something I can actually feckin' pronounce. The Schwack Prism is basically, like I said, the Archoplasma. It's the one that I'm using and it does feel really fucking useful. The fact that you can wipe out several little Vomvelists in one go, especially when you're mid-combat with the Eidolon, is really, really useful. I mean, much more useful than any of the other ones. And from what I understand, the community more or less feels the same way. Right now, if you're looking for a combination of the best setup for your amp, it's looking like it is the Schwack Prism, the Pencha scaffold for that Opticore fire round, and of course the Jutney brace, which will give you a faster energy regen. Now that seems to be the best amp. Powerful primary, optical for secondary, and a fast energy regen. That's if you want to go ahead and build it. I'd hate to think that maybe some of you guys will build an amp and then think, oh my god, this performs terribly, or you don't like the explosive rounds, the self damage or anything like that. So maybe that kind of brace, the one that I mentioned, could be one that you could run with. Now let me know in the comment section below how you've gone about building your first amp, or if you haven't built it yet, what way you're looking to build it, especially if you're on console and you're looking at videos from the Plains of Eidolon and you guys haven't got that update yet, and we'll hopefully have it in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Do me a huge favour and hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, or don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.